Another Brick fan with a BrickHeadz review. This is from the Pets line. This is Dalmatian. This is set 40479, was released in June 2021, has 252 pieces and cost about $15 when it was released. This is the 5th pet-themed BrickHeadz set that has been released this year, and like the others, it includes an adult and a young animal in a small display stand. Let's go ahead and get this built up, and then we will take a look at the finished BrickHeadz. Here are our finished Dalmatians. As you can see, there is a full-grown Dalmatian here and a puppy over here. And like many of the others, they have this little pen that they're in, and there's this sticker here with the bones. You can also replace that with paw prints, as you can see. So they do include 2 of these angled pieces, so you can swap that out if you want. Let's go ahead and take a look at each one of these individually. Starting with our adult dog, you see that he's very clearly a Dalmatian. Lots of the black and white spots here. These are all printed pieces, which I really appreciate. Many of these 1x1 tiles here with the single spot on them all over the Dalmatian here. And then a bunch of these slope pieces that have these other Dalmatian spots. You see his ears here on the sides that are built up with the slope pieces here. More of the Dalmatian printing there. You can see the red plates are used around. You may have noticed those during the build. Make up the collar. He's got a little star here hanging from his collar, which I think turned out nicely. His rear legs are able to splay out a little bit. So you can kind of put him in position him a little bit, which is fairly unique to BrickHeadz. It's rare that they have moving parts on them. You do see a lot of moving tails, though, with BrickHeadz, and this is no exception here. Here's his tail, and then it'll slope back here. You can see how those ears are shaped a little better when looking at them from the back. More of these 1x1 tiles, and then the other side is pretty much the same. Both sides are pretty much the same. Let's take a quick look at the puppy. So here is the puppy, and this is kind of what I would consider a half-size BrickHead. The base is 3x3 instead of 4x4 like the larger BrickHeadz. Pretty much the same kind of structure, though. He has the legs curled up underneath him with these angled pieces here, and then the straight. And then the front legs are just done with this 1x1 brick and then a couple of plates. You see the ears are shaped pretty much the same as the larger dog, the larger Dalmatian, but they are a little bit smaller. They don't protrude as much out. They are flush against the side of his head. More of these 1x1s with a spot. The back is pretty similar to the larger dog, and then of course he has a movable tail here as well. Both sides are pretty much done the same way. The tail is on with just this 1x1 with a clip, so it does move a little bit from side to side, but since the dog sits flush like this, moving that from side to side will make him sit kind of awkwardly. So right, straight up and down, that 90-degree angle is the best. Both sides, as you see, are done pretty much the same. The puppy has the same collar, but done in that red with a plate, but doesn't have a tag attached to him. As I said, this is the 5th in the Pets line. Several others were released earlier this year, including another dog set. So if we take a look at the German Shepherd set, you can see that these dogs are done fairly similar. The German Shepherds, of course, have the ears that are up, as opposed to the Dalmatians whose ears are hanging down. You see there, and then we have a bandana around the German Shepherd here, and then the basic structure of these dogs is pretty similar. If you look, you can see that the structure here on the smaller dogs is pretty much the same, just in different color schemes. The ears are slightly different, and then the noses are a little different, and then this one actually has his tongue hanging out. So these are really nice little BrickHeadz sets. I like the way they were done. Overall, looking at this set, I really like this. As I said, it's done very similar to all the other Pets BrickHeadz, with the larger and smaller BrickHead. The little pen or bed or whatever you want to call this, where they are stored or displayed, looks good. The pets that have tails have a gap done here in the back so that their tails can lie flat if you want them to. So that is part of the build when you do the little display stand. Overall, these look really good. They are priced just right as far as the BrickHeadz sets go, with a large and a small BrickHead usually costing $15, and that fits right into where this is. The price per piece is always a little dubious on BrickHeadz because some just have a lot more smaller pieces. This has 252 pieces for $15, which puts it in almost down to the 6 cents per piece. So if you're looking at pure price per piece count, that is really good. But like I said, this size set is usually at $15, so they've been very consistent with that. And I think that BrickHeadz in general are a good value. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this BrickHeadz pet themed set. I'm going to get started on my next video. And until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to see more of my content. I've left a link to my BrickHeadz reviews up here on the screen.